Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 66 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration, and today we will once again come back to Jeb. And he, being the daredevil that he is, decided he wanted to see and visit Ike. He's already in the orbit of Duna, so he figured, well, why not? Ike is not that far, and after all, we might as well get some sweet science from Ike while we're already there. So yes, and his transfer from Duna to Kerbin will take also quite a while, so that too also affected his decision to go and basically go to Ike, simply. So undocking from our Duna orbital and backtracking a little bit, closing the shielding on our docking port and aligning ourselves for the ejection towards Ike. As you can see, we have ditched the bottom stage of the Duna orbital because we drained all the fuel from it, so yes. By the way, this is a nice shot of Jeb leaving Duna orbital 1. Great, now let's see how our life supports hold up. Pretty decent, if I dare say so myself. And now let's see if we can get a very nice Ike encounter. Okay, just making sure I've switched to the right conics mode. This is the courtesy of the Precise node, a mod that I'm using, a very handy tool. You've seen me use lots of times. I basically plan most of my maneuver nodes using it. Just aligning correctly with the maneuver node, and the burn will be 272 meters per second, and we have a total of 3.2 thousand, so we should be okay no matter what. Okay, coming up on the burn in 2 minutes, and the total burn should take 53 seconds. And there's Ike in the background. Hi Ike, we're coming for you. So without further ado, let's us kick in the nervous and burn and get us a nice Ike encounter. Burn. Initially I didn't plan to go to Ike, I just wanted to visit Duna, but with the long transfer back being that it is, and it will also be some time while I get somebody else here, I figured it might as well, take the opportunity and just do it, So yes, transferring now to Ike. Going slowly. I just want to make sure basically that I've got such a nice Ike encounter that I don't want to mess it up by too much of a time acceleration. Okay, we got the SOI change warning and coming up on it ever so carefully. And there we go. Perfect. Now we're in the Ike sphere of influence. So once again, science, and let's activate our antenna so that we can send science. And actually, I'm now just saying that I want to ship the science, but it says no transmitters fitted on this vessel, and I only realized that later after the playing, so I guess I will need to be retransmitting that science at some point later. But okay, never mind. The focus now is on acquiring the science, not on shipping it all the way, I guess. Well, that's what I guess new me is saying, but the old me was thinking that I've already shipped it. Well, you live, you learn. Okay, perfect. Grazing at Duna, you ask whether the mission life is possible here. Sure. Just save everything that does have only partial returns in terms of science. So, and I have to check and keep every single piece. And there's quite a lot of them. I cannot actually wait to get Jeb back and hopefully get all this sweet science back. I think it'll be just amazing. So, keep, send, keep, send, and now I'm actually sending the data as opposed to the previous instance when I was just collecting it. But that's again just high over Ike and some above Duna, I guess. So once we come here, I do want to create a landing maneuver node, and I'm playing this at 3 times, I believe, time acceleration, or 4, I'm not sure. So I'm sorry if my sometimes map view seems a little bit, like as it's spasmic. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, it was quite necessary to be able to fit all of this into a single episode. So yes. Okay, and 130 meters per second burn. And we have electric charge is running out. And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, why? So I'm just now deactivating it, and I'm trying to see. I'm still expanding. So I'm trying to see, and my electricity remaining is alarmingly low. And then I realized that Duna is clogging the sun, and my charge has depleted, which is very disconcerting. By the way, this is partially the reason for the name Double Trouble when it comes to the Ike Double Trouble. So I was thinking like Double Jeopardy, but then again, I don't know, it's not a quiz, so yeah. So Duna was blocking my way when I was going around Ike, and I have decided actually, as opposed to making a small circular orbit around Duna, I'm gonna just burn enough to stop and make highly elliptical orbits so that I also pop around the sun much faster, because if Jeb runs out of electricity for longer than 2 hours, well, basically he would die. So yeah, very dangerous situation. You might not consider it to be, but it actually is. So, and you will also see me just kicking the nervous here and there a little bit, just to produce a little bit of electric charge, so that to generate some electricity so that Jeb could have his, life support running a little bit. So, okay, and as you can see, I left it at highly elliptical orbit. I mean, it's a close call. You could easily miss it. I mean, life support does warn you that your charge is running out, but you figure, okay, what the hell, I'm just gonna go with it. But then again, 2 hours, it's not a lot of time. So if you consider the time to apoapsis is 2 hours and 54 minutes. So yeah, I mean, not that much. So time is ticking, and we have very little electricity. So I just again kick the nervous a little bit just to make sure that I pump some electricity back into the system. It's good that those nervous have alternators. Otherwise, I would be, if I were using, I guess, the other engine, I think 909, I would be really, really in trouble. So once again, kicking the engine a little bit. So as you can see, I'm kind of dripping it just to make sure that I have enough electric charge to survive the arrival at the sun. So rather than just kicking this, I decided at some point I'll do a little bit of time warping, because I've noticed that time to apoapsis is 1 hour, and here we are. My electric charge has come back, and Ike has also come around Duna. Phew, that was close. Yeah. Okay, time to plan the landing. Great, let's see. We need 130 meters per second to land, or 190 roughly. Or, no, 402. Alrighty then. Okay, I just want to see how much it will take me to stop, basically, and come down. So, aligning with the maneuver node and just kicking the engines, and I basically want to stop somewhere around the lowlands region, extending the legs, because I don't want slopes. You've seen me do, landings before, and in my world, slopes are bad. Simply put, especially with this lander. And, this lander is usually very solid. The legs are pretty much bouncy, but It wasn't a problem because in previous versions I was using a different set of landing legs. I was using the smaller ones, and those ones had like more dampeners, like, you know, shocks that were absorbing the hit. These ones just bounce off like yo-yos, so yeah, I might need to rethink that. But then again, if it's not equally balanced, then it can flip over, etc., etc. It has its own set of challenges, so to say. But then again, coming up on lowlands, impact time 50 seconds, which I'm burning to increase. Our surface velocity is quite high. It's not the most efficient burn, but then again we have plenty of delta V, so I don't want to be just bothered by the sheer, like the banalities of this. So yeah, coming ever so closer, 80 meters per second. Ooh. A little bit too high for my taste, but okay. Managed to slow down to 30. Slope is 5.6, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm fairly optimistic about the landing here. Yeah, and 10, 9 meters, 4 meters per second, reducing the thrust. 6.5 slope, so far so good. And coming in for the touchdown. And whoops. Ooh. Ay, crap. Oh. Man, I got to stop doing that. I just had to say that I'm optimistic about the landing. Well, let's do a screenshot. But this is, then again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our standard way of landing, so yeah. Oops. Now I'm just fiddling to get myself corrected, and a little bit higher slope, but I put the landing legs closer this time, hopefully to have a better landing. And come on, stay here. Thank you. Whew. 2 for 2, ladies and gentlemen, 2 for 2. So I managed to get out this time. Okay, so retracting the solar panels before I go out on the EVA. And yeah, well, we lost, the downside is that we lost one solar panel. The good thing is that we still have 3 more, which are more than sufficient to keep the craft powered. Okay, Jab, surface sample, EVA report, and plant a flag. After all, we do want to remember that you have also conquered Ike. So, more specifically, Ike Lowlands. And this was a close call. You cannot help but like Ike, what they say, you know. Okay, perfectly. Let's grab and up we go. Board. Yeah, you just board experiments, perfect, and retract the ladders, and it's time to leave. Extend the solar panels, and yes, perfect. Retracting the landing legs, and I think we have done enough in terms of sciencing. Now we will just continue and be waiting for our transfer back to Duna. But first we have to get back to the Duna orbital station and dock there. After all, for life support purposes, I do think that we should have more than enough to actually safely stay in the orbit of Ike. But then again, I don't know, for my purposes I think it's more clean if I just dock with the Duna orbital and wait there and then refresh and completely restock my food supplies before I leave back home, or before Jeb leaves back home for Kerbin. Burning for the circularization. By the way, this has expanded our Delta V budget a bit more than I would like. 1,700 meters per second, and I don't think that we have much more honestly at the Duna orbital. I think that one is sucked dry. So yeah, And we also have to do the rendezvous and everything like that. So I'm slightly concerned if Jeff will have enough juice to get back home. But then again, he's carrying a buttload of science, and also he's carrying some monoprop. So if push comes to shove, I guess we will be pushing or shoving our craft, I guess. So let's see how it goes. I think when I looked at last time at the transfer from Duna to Kerbin should take 600 of Delta V. So I should keep somewhere in the ballpark, and hopefully it should be fine. And technique of oxidizer is leaking. Of course, I had to say it, you know. So I have to quick it ASAP because our Delta V is running out. So yeah, I had to react promptly and repair the insulation, otherwise we would have been in serious trouble. Or we would have to wait for a rescue, and given the transfers, God knows how long that would take. I mean, I need the science. We want it. It's our precious. So yeah, I'm really bad at impersonating Gollum. So sorry about that. Anyway. Yeah, coming back, going out of the Ike's sphere of influence. Ever so slowly. So the other part of the double trouble was the landing, where we lost one of the solar panels, I guess. Fortunately, it once again worked for us, but I have a feeling I should stop pushing my luck like this. So it's a beautiful dance of Duna and Ike as we are coming in for the rendezvous with Duna Orbital 1. One solar panel short, but much richer in terms of experience and valuable science data. Okay, time warping some more, and 160 meters per second burn, not a whole lot. And that should hopefully give us a very nice encounter with the space station. Perfect. Fixing it a little bit on the monoprop, and there we go. Beautiful. So, proximity alert with 2 minutes heads up warning, and let us go around Duna. 1,327 meters per second remaining. Like I said, not a whole lot, but should be enough to get us back to Kerbin. And the transfer back to Kerbin says it's 1,600 altogether, but the ejection burn is only 600. So what I'm hoping to do an ejection burn, and immediately after that a course correction that should put me into a 25 kilometer or 20 kilometer periapsis at Kerbin. So hopefully we should just perform the aero brake and aero capture, and that should be enough. Hopefully. Yes, burning towards target. I'm going at 90 meters per second, which is very fast. But then again, I want to decelerate to a more decent speed. And now at some 20 meters per second. Going ever so carefully. 2 kilometers. 1.5. Passing 1 kilometer. Getting our docking line indicator up. 700 meters to Duna orbital. Okay, 10 meters per second to target, 5 meters per second to target, 200 meters, and for some reason this gets deselected as a target every time when I come within 150 meters or of the target. I don't know why that happens. If somebody knows why, please post it in the comments below. I'm fixing now my alignment, doing our standard docking dance. Okay, perfect. Okay, Jeb, and please do make sure that you come in nice and smooth. Now the station is much smaller, that we got rid of the boosting stage. But it looks like a nice beginning of a space station, I guess. It's not too big, but then again it works. "30 meters out, and Jeb is excited. Of course he is. He's always excited. You got to admire that attitude. 5 meters, 3 meters, 2 meters, and docked. Perfect. Okay, that basically concludes this voyage, and we have more than enough of life support for Jeb here. So I'm just now going quickly reviewing the data if I could send anything more back to Kerbin. Oh, and I've missed one. Well, I'll just have to live with it. Okay, send this one, send this one. So we do have a couple more of science to transmit, and this will be very valuable for the guys back home that would be able to then later pull and make simulations of the craft re-entering Duna's orbit. So, that being said, we have another thing that we might want to check. So 737 science. So I really do want to start unlocking some more nodes, and I'm just quickly reviewing like manned spaceflight, blah blah blah, plasma rocketry, advanced energy generation. That's a 700 for the reactors. That might be a valid choice. Plasma is 750, so I don't have enough for it. But electrical generators I'll need anyway for the bigger rockets. Fairings, that would be useful. Advanced adapters, well, not just yet, but soon. Colony life support, and actually this might come in handy. I do want to start founding colonies. And so far I'm missing the aeroponics module, but I think it won't be the only thing that I'm missing. So off-world science, maybe. I'm leaning towards this generators, like nuclear generators, but let's see. Plasma thrusters, generators, and those will be creating lots and lots of power, so yeah. And then we have advanced nuke engine and advanced nuclear propulsion. That would give us a 2.5 meter nuclear engine, which would be great. Okay, well guys, I'm gonna call this an episode. Like if you like the episode, and hit the subscribe button for more KSP content that is coming soon. Thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.